Fresh Start Worlds is well underway in Runescape 3, but the question most people have been asking is it worth the time and should I start from scratch? This video is going to give you all of the reasons for and against playing Fresh Start Worlds, and of course give my own opinion on whether you should seriously invest your time into this Runescape 3 event. Firstly, we start with what makes Fresh Start Worlds worth your time and why you may want to actually consider starting RuneScape as a new player or restarting RuneScape for you veterans of the game. I think the key attraction for most players within RuneScape Fresh Start Worlds is that it opens up a whole host of new ways to train, level up or do all new PvM tactics. There's so many extras on top of the game mode that you probably would never be able to do in the standard core game with all of the double drops and stuff like that you have, and of course allow you to beat records and gain speed against a lot of players all around the same skill level and advance kind of as a group because everyone starts from the same position and there's no kind of people that are already maxed, or at least maybe there are now, but at the beginning of the game mode there were none. So really cool. I like the game mode. It allows you to do so many different things that are completely new from the standard game mode because of that training and XP. I'm seriously interested to see whether you guys actually have considered playing this game mode, whether you have actually jumped in and done it yourselves, because it's been definitely an interesting experience from when I've played it, and I have been investing a little bit of time here and there into trying to actually do it, but of course it's interesting to see if you've invested any time into it. So me personally, as we've already talked about, I have played, in fact I've tested playing on a brand new account, and to be honest with you, it's brilliant to kind of start and meet new players, help people out, learn through all of the low tier leveling, which I completed probably over 10 years ago at this point. And it's a massive refresher. And I feel like there is no kind of pressure to do certain things when playing the mode because there are a lot of cool boons that can speed up account progress massively, and coupled with the fact that you get constant 1.5 times XP, along with increasing as the time goes on and as the weeks go by, up to the highest multiplier we've probably ever seen for a long time, if not ever, which would be 2.5 times XP. Whether you play RuneScape Fresh Start Worlds or you're totally against it, and you can probably agree that the level speed will help out most new players ease into the game and feel like they have less of a distance to go to catch up with the current player base. The progress point system is actually a really good way of trying to get people to do everything in RuneScape, not just focus on one specific skill. Yes, you can do that, but there are some benefits for kind of diversifying your account and getting loads of different skills up beyond the very initial levels so that you can get these progress points. And also, it kind of rewards people for questing a lot more, and it actually pushes people into doing quests, which are actually a good thing for your account, because there's nothing worse than when you've maybe maxed your account and then you're going back thinking, I should probably do this novice quest, and you're having to run around and do all of these terrible quests that have taken so long just to get one item that might be at the end of the quest line, and you have to do like 30 quests just to get this one item for one specific method that you want to use at the end of your account. Yeah, it's horrible. Trust me, I've been there, I've done it. It's not nice when you're having to grind through quests for like 3 days straight, but that's kind of my own personal opinion. Obviously, maybe you absolutely despise quests to the point where you don't even want to do them, even if it means you get specific items at the end of it, then maybe that doesn't matter to you. But yeah, questing is actually pretty decent. It gives you tons of progress points, more so at the easier quests, so just burn through them if you're actually playing the game mode right now, as it will just boost up those progress points and allow you to get all of the boons that you probably want to speed up everything. One great thing about this mode as well, if you are a completely new player, you've never played RuneScape 3, there is quite a good tutorial system in the achievements and paths that we have that kind of go through every single thing that you really need to know, at least on the core mechanics, like the basics. Like if you're a veteran player, you know that there's tons more that could be shown to new players, but it's not a bad start. Gives you a little core understanding, showcases a few different things and all of the skills that you kind of really need. Herblore, Slayer, you've got combat, you've got smithing, mining, you name it, literally pretty much everything, and there's all tasks and paths that you can take, which is really good. I've found that kind of helpful for New players, not so much myself, because I can pretty much know all of that anyway, but there are some things that maybe you forgot or did stuff wrong, or maybe you just haven't done it in a long time, that maybe it might help you out, but it is really, really good. And overall, my actual play of the game, it's something fresh, as the name implies. It's good if you are just kind of a bit stagnant, if you've maxed your account and you're just thinking, I'm kind of bored of just doing this high-level content. I've not really got anything extra. Maybe I should play Fresh Start Worlds. Maybe I should actually jump in. Maybe I should just create a new account for the hell of it and actually try and just enjoy it. Maybe not grind out to max cape as quickly as possible and burn yourself out. But yeah, it's definitely worth investing some time into if you have time. Now, there are some things that might not be as fun or anywhere near as great for you personally, and we should probably outline some of those issues I've found so you don't run into the same problems if you're thinking about playing or beginning again. One of the biggest things about the game is the overwhelming nature of starting either from scratch with no experience, or even as an entirely new account from a veteran perspective. It's a lot of stuff to be doing. And it's kind of annoying to be able to really work out which route should be the most effective if you're interested in trying to get to 99 quickly, or if you're interested in purely like just focusing and trying to get your account to a certain level to be able to do all of this. Yes, it is kind of a bit of a pain in the arse because there's not particularly a huge bank of knowledge for low tier training methods. Yes, like I know you could just do the highest level content as you level up, but sometimes maybe that's not as effective, and you've always got that in the back of your mind when you're playing. And sometimes like some of the events and stuff at the low tiers is really, really boring, I won't lie, and you'll just be doing these for like a couple of hours at a time. They're really, really mundane, they're really boring, there's not a lot to them, you don't have to think, and it kind of can get a little bit stagnant at some areas. And especially if you're a veteran player and you've done all of this and you're like, I know where it gets to at the end and I'm just having to butt my head against a brick wall, it can be horrible. So just do what you feel actually is enjoyable. Don't just try and focus entirely at trying to get everything as efficient as possible, unless you are literally a player that's going for achievements and you want to be the first one to get 200 mil in every single skill. Then yes, you are going to have to focus entirely for the entire time that you probably play Fresh Start Worlds to be able to do that. But if you're the average casual player that pops on of an evening, don't do any of that. It's not going to be healthy. And of course, at the end of the day, it's got to be fun. If you really enjoy it, do it. But that's just my personal opinion. And of course, because of the 1.5 times XP, you don't have to be that efficient to be able to get your account to the levels that you probably want by the end of the event. And especially with 2.5 times XP all of the time, during the period of time, I think it's for like 2 weeks that you get 2.5 times XP at like the 8-week mark into the event, so 2 months in. Yeah, you're not really going to have any problems in leveling up your account. So just pick things you enjoy. If you have to go off and, I don't know, do a bit of clue scrolls or something like that, if you're interested, then yeah, don't feel like you have to be pressured into doing all of the XP stuff or the other things. So yeah, you can spend a bit of time doing quests. It's all beneficial to your account. And at the end of the day, after the event is over, it's going to get transferred to the main game, of which you'll have to do all of those things like the quests. So usually don't leave them till the end, because it will be very, very painful. So that's kind of my experience from playing. I've obviously not got the most amount of time in the world since I do now work. I'm no longer 10 and sitting in my mum's basement just playing RuneScape all day. But yeah, it's definitely something I would recommend. Just enjoy the time that you are playing the game, which is the ultimate thing. And I also found something else really, really annoying about the game. And it's probably something that if you think about, you will have worked out, or you're on your path to working out. And that is that the economy in Fresh Start Worlds is completely different. There is a completely different economy. The Grand Exchange is not shared, I don't believe, at least at this point, with the main game. And so everything has its own prices. Everything is completely separate. Certain things are extremely expensive. Certain things are not expensive at all. So you'll find things like Mithril armor, absolutely worthless. Literally can't even sell it for 1 GP on the Grand Exchange. You'll then find that, if you want air runes, you're spending like 30 GP each. which is like super expensive, and also trying to actually buy them can be a massive pain in the backside, especially if you haven't got, as a lower tier player, that is, someone that hasn't got the skills like the rune crafting to go and grind out a ton of blood runes. You're going to find it a massive struggle if you need them or require them for any training method and stuff like that. So yeah, it can be a bit annoying. And then that segues into the next bit, which is that because the economy is so messed up, people can still buy bonds in this membership. And that means that you can effectively pay to get GP that you can then spend on all of the expensive things no one else can buy because they haven't spent money on the bonds. And then you basically get overtaken if you haven't done that. So if you're racing to the achievements and you haven't bought bonds, you've probably already lost, because people will just pay their way to be able to get the most efficient training method. So for example, on a Bible skill, they will just spend the maximum amount of money on being able to get there as quickly as possible, regardless of how much it's costing their bank account, or regardless of how much they're kind of having to trade across the modes somehow using some sort of, I don't know, third party. I have no idea how people would do it otherwise than just buying the bonds outright and selling them in the Grand Exchange. But yeah, it's definitely not going to be fun for any of you who are playing free to play and trying to grind out against people that are just spending actual real money on the game in addition to just the membership. Talking about membership, you will find that if you do decide to play RuneScape 3 Fresh Start Worlds, you'll realise you'll need to pay for it, which I can kind of understand from a company perspective. You know, from Jagex, if you already pay for a membership on your main account and then you're making a new account, you should probably pay for membership because that's an extra account they have to cope with, blah, blah, blah. But it's a little bit annoying, and it can be definitely annoying for people that are paying for membership on two accounts if they're a veteran player, because a lot of veteran players are playing Fresh Start Worlds right now, and I'm probably sure if you're watching this, you may be a veteran of the game, and veteran I mean like someone that has quite a lot of experience in the game. And so, yeah, you're basically going to be ending up spending nearly £20 a month to play both game modes if you are playing both. And of course, most people, they usually buy, economically wise, the 12-month membership on the main account. But if they're then now just spending time playing Fresh Start Worlds and they're not kind of dual monitoring or doing multiple accounts at one time, which a lot of people do, but if you're not, then you're not going to be able to get your money's worth on your main account, and you're also paying for another account, so it's very expensive in the entire year, especially for someone who maybe struggles financially, which lots of people do. Yeah, it's not particularly great, and it can be a little bit of a pain, which is why I would have rather have seen it as like an extension of your account. If you make an account on RuneScape 3 in the core main game mode or the main game, then you would just have like a separate Fresh World accounts associated to yours. You'd share the membership, job's done. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, literally done, completed. No need to buy an extra membership, or maybe you'd only have to pay, I don't know, a couple of pounds extra. And that way, every time the event kind of finishes, or maybe they want to end the game mode, or they want to restart it, you can basically just have your account kind of converted into the main game, or at least take some of the items or whatever it is that you can benefit from on the Fresh Start Worlds account, jump it over onto your main account. There you go. Job done. Finished. The way that they've done it, it's kind of a little bit of a money grab. I understand that. But overall, you know, if you want to take advantage of this, if you want to use it, if you want to enjoy it, then you are going to have to pay for it. There is no way around it. Or alternatively, if you've got a ton of money on your main account, you can just buy bonds and then, yeah, do it that way. But overall, I don't know. Make of that what you will. Leave your comments in the comment section down below. As always, you guys are fantastic, and it has been a pleasure. And I hope it gave you some thoughts about the game mode, why it's great, and why you may not think it's great. And yeah, it's definitely an interesting topic. Don't forget to check out the best new player tips video if you are interested in starting again, as that kind of focuses on some of the things that you should be thinking about, not necessarily in specific achievements or skills or whatever, but a general approach to starting a new account on RuneScape. So I hope that you'll join me there. and thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.